Welcome to What's Your Story? I'm your host, Sharita Williams, and today I am excited. I'm excited as a broadcaster. I am excited as a parent. And if you know anyone out there who is a parent, they need to tune into this show. Today, my guest is Shelly Howard. She is the founder and the CEO of CollegeReady.com. Please help me welcome Shelly Howard to the show. Shelly, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Shelly, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. I am a Southern California native of 5 generations, and I currently still live in Southern California. I am the mother of 2 biological kids, 2 stepchildren, and 1 Italian exchange student. And then, of course, College Ready helps hundreds of high school students all over the world. And so my mission is to help 1 million families get into college and graduate debt-free, because I saw what it did for my 2 oldest. My son attended Harvard 4 years for free, went on to UC San Diego Medical School, and is now an orthopedic surgeon at UCLA. And 4 years later, my daughter went to University of Alabama, graduated debt-free, and she's now a registered nurse in a pediatric unit at Loma Linda Hospital. My stepson is a freshman at San Francisco State, and the baby, the high schooler, will be graduating in June, and she hopes to travel internationally and be a business entrepreneur. And of course, my Italian exchange student has enjoyed this whole craziness.
So tell our viewers exactly what is CollegeReady.com.
So College Ready, the website is actually collegereadyplan.com. And College Ready was started 13 years ago when my son came home from 8th grade and said, "Mom, I know exactly what I want to do when I grow up." And I'm like, "Wow, that's impressive. I didn't even know I wanted to go to college. And how do I help you?" And he says, "Yeah, I want to be a brain surgeon." And like, parents listening, I'm sure you're like, I don't know really what to say to that, but I will do everything I can. So that's when College Ready was started, because of a need. During that 4 years while my son was in high school, I built him like I would build a business, and I helped him plan and strategize his standout strategy, which allowed him to have a plan, a process, and a procedure of exactly what he needed to do to get into the top tier schools. And when he graduated, he had 7 top tier offers. And like I said, ended up at Harvard. So my why was the need of my child.
Absolutely. So in this day and age, we have so many parents trying to get their kids to get scholarships or have them in like an AAU program, especially, speaking to us like athletics or something, or band. They're trying to get their kids scholarships. But every kid is not an athlete. Every kid is not musically inclined. So how can College Ready help a child that's not athletic inclined or doesn't have a musically inclined? What can College Ready do for that student?
So that's the beauty of our program. Everything is custom, one-to-one, created uniquely for the student. We have multiple twins and triplets, and they each have their own strategy. So it really doesn't matter what they do, have gifts and talents for. It matters most important, how will you tell college why you would be a good fit for them? And I help students do that by understanding, are they looking for an academic fit? In other words, do they want to be with the best of the best? Like, where do they want to fit in? Are they looking for a social fit, the big football school? Are they looking for a financial fit? Are they looking for scholarships? In 2021, our seniors earned over $10.7 million in scholarships. And that is my mission, is to help people understand the money is there. You just don't know where to find it.
Absolutely. So Shelly, as a parent, how can we find out about you?
So College Ready is actually about 95% of our students are in the US, and we are reaching globally at this point. The easiest way to find us is to go on the web at www.collegereadyplan.com. The plan is the important piece because without a plan, you have debt and you have overwhelm. With a plan, you have ease of process and it's actually enjoyable, and your student can graduate debt free.
So as a parent, and my child has graduated from college, but let's speak to our parents whose children have not graduated. Exactly what a college is looking for when your child registers for school.
So first, I want to let parents know it's nothing like when you were in high school or college. Number one, parents often will say, I didn't graduate from high school or college in the United States. And I said, that's okay. You're at no disadvantage because about every 4 to 6 years, college admissions has a big transition. And with COVID, we've had a big transition. So what colleges are really focused on right now is how is that student uniquely them? What are their core values? Who are they? Why does it matter? They want to know, yes, the GPA, yes, the test score, yes, community service, yes, leadership, yes, extracurriculars, yes, letters of recommendation, but really the secret sauce is the essay. So if parents want to know what is the magic's in the essay because that's how they're going to set themselves apart from all the other perfect 5.0 students and all the other perfect 36 ACTs. And of course, that's exaggerated. But the bottom line is colleges need to understand who is that student, what's important to them, why does that matter, and why are they a good fit for their institution? I think parents often forget that college is a business. And that business is looking to bring in great students, to graduate great students, to go out into the world and bring in more great students. So therefore, they're looking for great students.
Absolutely. So, parents, usually I'll say when their kids get high school and usually like the 11th grade summer, parents go out and they're in this rush and they're touring all these colleges. But actually, when should parents start looking for colleges for their kids?
So when that student shows interest, I have had students in 5th grade who are super motivated and they are excited, but that's a bit young. I think going on a college tour while you're on a family vacation could be and should be a fun experience. Here's just another thing we're going to see. Here's a museum, here's a beach, here's a park, here's a college. That's how I introduced my son to Harvard. He was in 5th grade and we were just visiting the East Coast. So when they need to get very serious is when they promote from 8th grade. That's when we start helping students to get really clear everything they need to do and when they need to do it. And by having that plan, it's a very enjoyable experience without the overwhelm, without the uncertainty. And that allows the students not to make any mistakes.
So Shelley, what's the difference between your program and any other program? I mean, we can go to the internet and we can Google anyone. So what makes College Ready unique?
I think, well, I know what my students tell me and why my parents are so happy to be part of the program is that we focus on return on investment of time and money. Most people will simply pick a college and say, we'll figure it out when they get in. College Ready does it different. We help families get very clear way before they apply on what is a good fit. Are you looking for academic, social, financial? If so, in what order? And how can we best get that for you? By having reach schools, comfort schools, safety schools. But the most important thing that College Ready likes families to understand is, does it make sense to go into debt for each degree? Each college has a different cost. Each degree has a different requirement. For a student who wants to go into women's studies as a major, how long will they have to work to pay back that student loan? and be able to move forward in their life. Versus if they want to become a CPA, there's important factors to consider. You wouldn't go and buy a home without doing your homework of what is the comparables. You wouldn't even go and buy a car without doing your research of, is this worth it? But yet for some reason, families just let their student pick a school based on a football team, then figure out, can they afford it? It's like buying a home and wondering how you're going to pay the mortgage. So College Ready is more than just college counseling. We are truly looking at the getting them into college, but also getting them out of college without debt and with a career. So we're really setting that student up for the complete success, not just picking to get into a school and then walking away.
Absolutely. That sounds great. WYTV7, the mission of WYTV7 is to educate, empower, and encourage. And in April of 2022, this year, WYTV7 is going to have a financial literacy program that they're going to put on. And so this is a great segue because it's all about finances and people going in debt. But Shirley, tell our viewers, is it possible for your kid to go to school debt free?
Absolutely. Even if your parents make way too much money or not enough money. So what people don't understand is your expected family contribution can be calculated on every single college website financial tab. So if you don't go on there and put in, it's between 3 and 5 numbers, you'll see what college you're going to be expected to pay. So if you know what you're going to be expected to pay and you sure can't pay it, what are you going to do? You need to either decide, are you going to go get need-based grants, aids, and scholarships, or is your student going to earn merit-based opportunities? There's so much money out there. These colleges have incredibly deep pockets. Their alumni groups are so heavily involved in providing finances for these schools. Families just don't know how to tie into it, and that's what we help them do. That's where people get the most money, is picking the right college. People don't pick the right college and then they feel like, I can't pay for it. It's all about knowing and education and understanding that there is a ton of money available. You just have to know where to get it.
Absolutely. So, that brings me to my next segue. There are so many scams out there. You go on the internet, or just us Googling College Ready, I'll get tons of apps coming in trying to, we saw you're interested in college, you get your phone calls, whatever. Are people skeptical because there's so many scams? What makes College Ready, do people call and say, oh, is this a scam?
The interesting thing about that is no. And I think the reason why is 60% of our clients are referral based. So they're coming in with either an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a sister, a brother, who's saying, hey, this is the real deal. College Ready got our student into college and they graduated without debt. So, I just got a student into Stanford and Yale in the last 2 weeks, and there is no way that we can make that up. It's a real deal. And I think because we allow people to talk to our past clients and they're happy to speak to them because we did what we set off to do. We are 100% successful if the student participates. I tell families all the time, it takes work. You don't just sit back and relax and hope that money pours in. You definitely want to have a strategy and a plan, and there's plenty of opportunity. But no, I don't get that at all where people think it's a scam.
Absolutely. Take a break, and we'll be back right after our break. And if you are interested in being a guest on What's Your Story, you can reach out to me, Sharita Williams, 154 at gmail.com, or you can go to our website, wytv7.org. You can also go to wytv7.org to make any donations. We'll be back right after the break.
Calling all HBCU alumni, supporters, and golfers. It's that time of year again. Yes, the HBCU Swing Into Their Dreams Charity Golf Tournament on Tuesday, April 5th. If you missed the last one, you have time once again to be epic. Don't miss the golf tournament of the year. The Swing Into Their Dreams HBCU Charity Golf Tournament at the Atlanta National Golf Club in Milton, Georgia, Tuesday, April the 5th. Registration begins now. Sign up your golf teams at swingintotheirdreams.com. That's swingintotheirdreams.com or call 770-686-7148. That's 770-686-7148. Don't miss it.
We're back with Shelly Howard. She is the founder and CEO of College Ready. She is also a best-selling author, and the name of her book is How to Send Your Students to College Without Losing Your Mind or Your Money. Shelly, welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
So when we last talked, you were telling our viewers about how to go to college debt-free, and is it possible to go to college debt-free? So can you do a little recap on what we talked about?
Absolutely. The easiest way to think about getting in and out of a great college with a degree and no debt is having a plan and a strategy. Know what a good academic fit for your student is, a good social fit, where will they be happy, and a good financial fit. What can your family afford? If you focus on those and plan your strategy accordingly, getting out of college without debt is absolutely possible. And my students continue to prove it.
Absolutely. So Shelly, what is your biggest challenge with working with, I'm a parent, you're a parent, we're working with a parent and a student? I know that there's some conflict. So what is your biggest challenge in working with parent? Because a parent has one thing in mind and a child has another thing in mind. So what has been some of your biggest challenges?
So I'm one of those people who like lemons to lemonade. So what I have done is I meet with my students online and I record it. Then the parent has the opportunity of listening to the student say what they think, what they believe, what they want. And then I circle back with them. So I give the opportunity to the student to really have a voice without any expectations. And then at that point, I help them to get really clear on how do you have that conversation. That's an important piece. A lot of times families just don't know how to start that conversation. And once they do, it gets easier. It's starting it because a teenager may think, oh, my parent just doesn't want me to be an artist or a dancer or whatever. And I help students understand that if you explain the why, then you can have an open conversation. My hardest challenge, to be honest, is when a parent hires me and then tries to tell me how to do it. That's the challenging part. If a parent hires us, sees the value and can just really allow the student and the consultant to build their dream, that's where the most amazing process happens. So as long as we can have conversation and discuss the whys, it really is not a problem between student and parent.
Yeah. So how do you keep the child motivated? How do you get them to buy in and just stick with the program?
Well, I think it's actually pretty easy. And I don't know if it's just me, but I speak teenager. And so I explain it this way. When you play a sport, I don't hand you a basketball and just say, hey, go play the game. You would look at the court and be a little scared. But if I taught you exactly how to play the game and play it well, would you not enjoy it more? And so I say, I really have no preference where they go to college, what they major in, what their career is. My only goal is to help them get their dream. So they're pretty happy to have me on their team because I'm not judging them. I'm not having any conflict. I'm just saying, you want this? This is what we have to do. Let's go do it. And they're like, this is fantastic. So I don't really experience that.
And that's very important, just connecting, with the teenager, especially with this day and age of so much computer. So let's talk about your best-selling book. I see it behind you, How to Send Your Students to College Without Losing Your Mind and Money. How did you come up with that title?
So this book was actually created because my oldest son, we made a bet. And I bet him that if he got into an Ivy League school, that I would write a book for all the kids who don't have a mother like me. And so after he got in, he said, Mom, I'm at Harvard. Have you started your book? And I'm like, oh, you remembered. And so I spent 3 months where I didn't work. All I did was focus, and I wrote the book. And within 24 hours, it was a bestseller because it's a workbook. It's a book you can read. It has case studies. It gives you the why, but it also tells you this is what you can do. It's a book you can write in, you can work with your teenager in, and you can plan and map out what needs to be done. I give this book away to any of your listeners. All they have to do is go on the web, book.collegereadyplan.com, and they can get a free copy. If they would rather purchase it, it is on Amazon, and I'm happy to support them that way as well.
That's fantastic. So your services with collegeready.com, can anyone afford it?
Absolutely. So we scholarship 2 students every year. So free is definitely doable. All they have to do is write an essay to me, the founder, of why they believe being part of College Ready will make a big impact in their life. And I scholarship 1 boy and 1 girl. I think I have to be fair. And then our prices start from all the way from $14.95 and up, depending on how much the family's willing to do and how much the consultant needs to do. So it is absolutely affordable, and I try to not to make money a part of it.
That's so fantastic, because that's all about, that's all about WYTD7 mission, giving back, because that is so important. So let's take a scenario. Say I already have a 529. I've had that. I started that when my child was born. So I have a 529. Why do I need you?
Because a 529 is a really bad idea. I'm sorry to have to tell you that, but you really need me if that's what you've done. And I say that tongue in cheek, but the reality is that's what happened to me. I did start it when my son, because that's all the government offers. They don't tell you all the different ways that you can prepare. They give you one plan and tell you to put all your money in it. Why? Because then they know how much money you have and you can spend for college. So I was that parent who saved for my student, for my firstborn. And then when he got a scholarship and they found out that I had enough money, they said, oh, we're going to give your scholarship to somebody who needs it. And I'm like, what? My kid earned that. You can't take that away. And they said, oh, yes, we can. You have saved enough money. You don't need it. I moved that money very quickly to the next child and said, what 529? There is no 529. You need to check your records. And that money that I put away was detrimental potentially to my son receiving the grants that he received. Now, keep in mind, it's not all or nothing. I don't want people screaming, I have a 529. What do you mean? What do I do? What I want to tell you is it's not the only plan, because the 529, you have to put on the FAFSA and the CSS profile. So now you are telling the colleges and the government, I have saved all this money for you and you get to take it. versus having a different strategy. On the FAFSA, there are assets that FAFSA does not look at. Okay, ethically in all of that, it tells you what money they consider and what money they do not. But how many people read the FAFSA directions? They don't. It's like you can hire a CPA or you can do your own taxes. Who knows tax code? Who's going to get you the most money back? That's all we're talking here. If you read the form, truly parents, if you are one of those people and you're like, I can do this on my own, read the FAFSA. It is the most awful reading you will do, but it will save you thousands of dollars by educating yourself of what they look at and what they don't look at.
Absolutely. Well, that is so enlightening, because I know all of America, that can afford it, do invest in a 529. I mean, I did it myself. So I know that is the way, quote unquote, America is driven. So, thank you for that information. So are there colleges out there that are free?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I tell students when they say our family can't afford it, I said there's 13 colleges that are tuition free. Now, keep in mind, you have to work, WORK, in lieu of tuition. You can't just go to school and do nothing and just get a free education, but it is a work tuition exchange. To me, that is a free education, one labor for one education. So I believe that is considered a free education if all you have to do is work against your tuition.
Absolutely. So Shirley, what percentage of the students that come to you go to school debt free?
I find that a very challenging question, because I have students or families that they get a free ride, and they choose to pay full price to a brand name. So is it fair for me to judge them that they would rather pay for a brand name than go for free to maybe a lesser brand name? Of course, that is not that is not a place I can be. So therefore, I can't truly give you a real number. I can tell you that our students earned over 10.7 million in merit scholarships in 2021. And that was 61 students. So if you do the math, you can see that we're not making this up. There's a ton of money out there. The challenge is sometimes ego gets in the way and people are willing to pay. And I can't make that decision for a family. I had a student this year who had to decide between Harvard and Stanford. That's a quality problem. One offered a ton of money and one did not. They chose the one that didn't. I can't explain it. It's not my money. It's not my decision, but our goal is every single student in our program has the opportunity. It just depends if they take it or not.
Absolutely. So for this year, our theme at WYTV 7 for season 7 for 2022, it is, what are you trying to do? So Shirley Howard, I challenge you. What are you trying to do in 2022?
2022 is get the word out. So if anybody has opportunities for me to come and speak to their women's group, to Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, National Charity League, Rotary Club, any opportunity for me to get in front of your families, that is my mission, because I can't do it one child at a time. I really need to get the word out. And that is why I do 3 to 7 podcasts a week. My topic is very sought after, and I want people to know the answers. What you don't know is going to cost you and your family. Help me help others by spreading the word and allowing me to present in front of those groups. That would be it. I don't charge to do it. I don't sell a thing. All I want to do is give the knowledge to make the right choice.
That is so empowering, helping our students get to the next level. Well, Shirley Howard, we would like to thank you for sharing your story on our story, on What's Your Story. And we want to thank you for that. And we want to tell us one more time how we can reach out to you at College Ready.
Absolutely. So the website is www.collegereadyplan.com. If you would like a free copy of my book, go to book.collegereadyplan.com. And if you would like to purchase a copy, you don't want to wait, go to Amazon and type in how to send your student to college without losing your mind or your money. I promise you, I'm the only book title with that. So thank you so much for your time. And if you'd like to reach out to me as a speaker, you can go on my website and go to my speaker page and set that up.
Well, Shelley, we'd like to thank you for being a part of our story today. And I know if there's a parent out there and their child is going to college and you don't want to lose your mind, reach out to Shelley Howard at collegeready.com and she will help you get your child to the next level. So Shelley, we'd like to thank you and thank you for being a part of our broadcast. I'm Sharita Williams. What's Your Story? Until next time.
My pleasure.